This is Optometrists Building Empires, and I'm your host, Ankit Patel. Each week, we'll explore the journey of practice ownership and leadership in optometry. Join us for insights and strategies from the top minds in our field. This show is sponsored by My Business Care Team. My Business Care Team helps your office increase revenues, reduce costs, and reduce staffing headaches. Let's build your empire together. Today's guest is someone I'm excited for you to learn more about. He's an exciting entrepreneur, optometrist, and a musician. He is recognized for his expertise in scleral lenses and is pursuing his fellowship of the Scleral Contact Lens Society. He was named Louisiana Young Optometrist of the Year in 2019 and is consistently voted Best Eye Doctor of Acadiana, and that's from 2020 to 2023. Outside the office, he plays guitar and sings in a rock band called Dr. C and the Grigri. He's the owner and optometrist of Scott Eye Care. Please welcome Dr. Ryan Cazares. Ryan, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So right off the bat, what was the most important thing that helped you grow your empire?
I would say, doing scleral contacts, especially contacts, really was attending conferences. Every year I go to GSLS Global Symposium with scleral contacts or specialty contacts in Vegas, and also International Congress of Scleral Contacts, which kind of tours around the country. And really, the education at the conferences is great, but really the networking and connecting with different doctors every year, just kind of picking their brains, and they'll pick mine here and there, but that's the most important thing for sure, networking.
What are a couple of things that you picked up that really made an impact in your business?
Yeah, I would say probably Dr. Sansino over in Nashville. He has a way to really streamline the process, because scleral contacts can be very time consuming, and if you're not finalizing the contacts or the prescription, then you can't move on to the next patient. So he has a great way to streamline it using OCT and different tools. So probably just how different doctors streamline things and make it easy and make it work for their clinic.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I think that process flow makes a big difference, and learning from folks is always helpful. So as you're growing your practice and your specialty, what'd you run into that you didn't expect?
Um, I would say, the uh, the patients, especially the keratoconus patients, they have a lot of, concurrent health issues, especially uh, dermatitis, dermatologic issues, and they tend to be, um, very, very conscious, self-conscious about everything in their health and their eyes. So it can be a little tricky, but you learn pretty quick how to sympathize with these patients and just help them the best that you can.
Okay. Um, and what was it about? Like, I'm curious, why grow this particular specialization? Why not go to different specialization? What was it about the sclerals that really attracted you?
Well, I saw, almost immediately when I opened up, that a lot of people have keratoconus, and I mean it's like 1 in 375 or something like that. Um, and in Louisiana, there's a lot of eye disease, but there's a lot of keratoconus. I feel like it's almost more common than that. Um, so it was a little bit out of necessity, but then when I really enjoyed the rewarding aspect of it and helping these people see better than they have, maybe ever, um, I really got addicted to it. It's really great. I really love doing it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I'm curious. I know that specialization helps. How are you kind of working through some of the challenges some of the folks are facing right now in the industry? So there's a couple of challenges, right? The first is reimbursements. So how do you deal with lowering reimbursements or stagnant reimbursements?
Yeah, so it's been pretty stagnant. However, the typical scleral contact lens patient, even if they have VSP or IMED, it's usually very uh, it's usually pretty lucrative. Even those reimbursements are pretty good. I do only take those plans because they're the better paying plans. As far as medical goes, a lot of the patients end up being cash pay, but uh, these patients really need to see to work and to function, and so they're willing to pay for that service. So really, the scleral contact lenses has really helped us. And as far as my associate goes, she does a lot of medical eye care. Um, so reimbursement for that type of thing is it's been better than just routine in taking vision plans. So that's how we kind of deal with it.
Okay. And what about staffing? You're in the a little bit more rural, Louisiana, and staffing may be tough. Like, how do you deal with staffing shortages or increasing costs for staff?
Yeah, so that's tough, and we're kind of at that point now where the facility I'm in right now is we've kind of outgrown it, and so it's hard to increase their wages. Um, so hopefully we'll move to a bigger place, be able to see a little bit more patients. Um, but as far as staffing and paying their wages and everything, we just try to build a very rewarding environment. And I've had really good staff retention. Everyone that's there right now has been with me for years. Minus one technician's very is pretty new. Um, so just building a good environment and doing my best to pay them a livable wage.
Yeah, well, that's actually really really good. Like, it's hard to find folks to have stable staff. What's so the wage is part of it, but how else are you creating a place where people want to stay?
I really like to uh, delegate. I have to, I just I can't keep up with, especially the demands of charting for like scleral contacts. It's very demanding. And so when I'm able to delegate and, put a responsibility on staff, uh, it's very, it's very rewarding for them. It kind of pays them back, and they take initiative and they feel like they're needed. And so, sounds silly, but putting responsibilities on them and letting them know that they're important to how the clinic runs, that's very rewarding to staff, and that's how we're able to keep them around.
Say more about that. How do you give them responsibilities that really engage them? Like, what are you talking about specifically there?
Yeah, so I have a technician who, I mean, she could probably fit a scleral contact lens, just because she follows me, and she can definitely place the orders very easily. I'm able to delegate that to her because that takes up a lot of time. Um, and then each staff is responsible for tracking 2 KPIs, and they report that to me every week, and every month we kinda go over that. Um, and so that does 2 things. 1, it gives them a responsibility to track those metrics, but 2, it also gives them feedback, like immediate feedback. "How are we doing this month? How are we doing compared to last month?" So those 2 things alone, um, it has been very rewarding, and they keep up with it, and they know it's important. So
Yeah, what kind of metrics are those? Like, what specifically do you give folks, and is it different? Like, is it tech different than an optician? Like, let's get into some more details. Curious about how you operationalize that.
yeah, so for example, my specialty tech, she tracks um, specialty fits per week, and we see compared to last year, um, how many fits have we done this year? And as of August, we had already surpassed last year's scleral and specialty fits. So it's been valuable to track that. The opticians will measure capture rate and optical sales. Um, Other technicians will track, number of comprehensives we do in a month versus number of total visits.
Sure.
And so we just kind of meet monthly and look at those different numbers and try to reach a goal mark compared to our best performing year. So that's how it works, and that's how I'm able to keep them kind of accountable. So
Okay. I like that. Um, what are you most excited about for your business moving forward? Like, what are you looking forward to?
yeah, I've there's a couple things. One is I do have like some land I bought during 2020 when during the pandemic, and it's really just down the road from where I am now, and hopefully look into buildings my own clinic. Right now, I'm in a lease spot, and then the other thing is I really enjoy myopia management. Louisiana, it's kind of a hard sell here. A lot of
Yeah.
kids are on state funded plans, and but the parents are out there that want their kids to not have as much nearsightedness as they have. And so, I've been working with someone to try to market that and get some of those patients here. And we're starting to grow in that area. So those two things, potentially building and then growing the myopia management aspect of their practice.
I like that. Yeah, that's the myopic control seems like it makes a lot of sense, right? With that, I really like the fact that the contact lenses seem to overlap a lot.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Yeah, you can use the same tools, a topographer, and I have a profilometer. Those are both good for ortho K, and yeah, it's been good. A lot of overlaps, just like you said.
and then do you have an axial length machine too? Just curious.
Say that again.
Axial length, do you have that as well?
So I have a myopia master,
Okay.
and it measures. It does auto refraction. It measures axial length, and then it plots it over time compared to kids of similar race and age. And so that's a pretty powerful tool to kind of show the parent where they are in comparison to kids their age.
Well, that's a good idea. Um, what are you excited about for the industry? Like, where do you see optometry going? What are you excited about there?
Yeah, I think that at least in my area, there's really not a lot of ophthalmologists, and I kind of see optometry really evolving and probably blurring the lines even more between optometry and ophthalmology. I mean, really, there's not a lot of difference between an optometrist and just a general ophthalmologist, maybe cataract surgery. Um, but I foresee us doing a lot more and more medical and advances in medicine and things like that. I think our chances of practicing full scope is gonna mean even wider than it means right now, so
Yeah, that's always exciting. Yeah. Um, so let's curious. Can you tell me a story? And this is more of a on the personal side. Can you give me a story that was formative for you? Like, tell me about a story that made you who you are today. Could have been when you were younger, recent, anything you could share with us.
yeah, yeah. So, honestly, it's probably, um what comes to mind right away is getting through COVID. I had to lay off my staff, I had to lay off myself, but people were bored and they were injuring their eyes. They were doing a lot of DIY projects. So I was just as busy during COVID and it was hard. I had a really hard time with it. Getting through that and, overcoming, a little bit of mental health issues I had afterwards. Um, it really, I think back to, if I got through that, this challenge I may have tomorrow it pales in comparison. So, I like to I like to use that as a gauge to remind myself that if we work together as a team, we can do pretty much anything. So I think that experience really kind of shaped me a lot for sure.
Gotcha. I like that. Okay. Um, and what advice would you give your younger self right after graduating OD school, knowing what you know now?
Um, After graduating OD school, I would probably say, you don't have to please every patient. Once you get busy, um, you can let the patients that don't serve you, you can let them go. We're not afraid to fire patients that are rude to the staff, fire patients that don't take your medical advice. Um, So, in the first year or 2, it's important to serve everybody, when you need the business, but once you're busy enough, you can let those patients go that just aren't serving the practice.
That's actually brave of you. I don't hear many people say that. So that's actually really, really, it's pretty good insight, I think. I think there's what was it? Have you heard of the book called The Pumpkin Plan?
Oh,
Eh,
I haven't heard of that one.
it's a, gosh, who wrote it? I think it's a person who is actually big. I think she managed like, I'm going to butcher this, like vision sources or something like that. Or anyways, the concept is, you kind of have there's people you don't work with, it's a minimum amount that you will do. So like you said, fire patients, it says like, find the right patient set for you.
Mhm.
So I thought that reminds me of what I read in that book. So
Yeah, yeah. No, it's true though, like, uh, y you'll find yourself after the week is done worrying about that one patient that gave you trouble instead of the, 100 or 200 that were very pleased with your service. So, it's just not worth the hassle anymore. We're more than okay to let patients go sometimes. So,
yeah. Well, Ryan, I appreciate you spending some time with us. Where can people reach out to you if they want to learn more?
yeah, I mean, any questions whatsoever, visit scotteye.com.
Mhm.
Email me. It's dr period Cazares at scotteye.com. Um, yeah, that's how you can get in touch with me. I'm happy to answer any questions about, you know, growing a practice or growing a scleral contact lens, specialty contact lens practice. Very happy to help.
Awesome. And we'll put that in the show notes as well for people.
Okay.
Um, Dr. Cazares, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And thank you, audience. If you learned something or laughed, share the podcast with a friend and make sure you hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode. And if you use the HubSpot link in the show notes to book a meeting, I'll send you a free copy of my new book, Optometry Redefined. Thank you again for joining us, Ryan. This has been another exciting episode of Optometrists Building Empires. We'll see you next time. That's a wrap on another episode of Optometrists Building Empires. Thanks for joining. For show notes and more, visit buildingempires.live. This show is proudly sponsored by My Business Care Team. My Business Care Team was born out of staffing challenges my wife and I faced together, managing multiple optometry locations. We refined our approach at Classic Vision Care and now offer our expertise to others. If you're experiencing challenges with staffing and you'd like to set up a discovery call, we'd be happy to help you and connect you with the right resources. We'll see you next time.